His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a reply letter to His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco in response to a letter to His Majesty received from the Moroccan monarch regarding his country's support for Bahrain following hostile Iranian attacks that targeted the kingdom's sovereignty, security and stability. His Majesty expressed pride in the close fraternal ties between the two nations as well as their constructive cooperation. His Majesty expressed gratitude for the sincere solidarity expressed by the Moroccan monarch toward Bahrain. His Majesty praised the King of Morocco's strong condemnation of Iran's aggression that targeted civilians and military facilities as well as residential neighborhoods in clear violation of the United Nations Charter, international law and good neighborliness. His Majesty expressed appreciation for the statement made by the Moroccan monarchs affirming that the security of Bahrain and the GCC state is an integral part of Morocco's security and for Morocco's support for Bahrain in all measures taken to address current threats targeting national principles and social cohesion and to counter anyone seeking to undermine its national unity. Within the framework of Bahrain's right to the legitimate defense of the supreme interest of its people, His Majesty affirmed that thanks to the bravery and readiness of the Bahrain Defense Forces, the air defense system, and the relevant security forces, as well as the resilience of Bahrain society, its sacrifices, and its commitment to national unity, Bahrain has been able to counter the hostile Iranian aggression. He affirmed that the armed forces of Bahrain Defense Forces remain fully prepared to defend the kingdom and preserve the security and stability and to overcome the current circumstances with confidence, determination, wishing Morocco and its people lasting security, stability and prosperity. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the chairman of the Royal Family Council, chaired a council meeting in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Prime Minister and Deputy Chairman of the Royal Family Council, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, where the Council discussed the items on its agenda. The Director General of the Royal Family Council, Sheikh Salman bin Khalid bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, then presented a document of loyalty to His Majesty the King, which affirmed that in the light of the hostile aggression, exceptional events and unacceptable transgression the Kingdom is currently facing, it is an honor for Al Khalifa family members to present this document to His Majesty, affirming the unwavering loyalty and steadfast support which stems from a sincere sense of belonging and responsibility. They affirmed that their loyalty to His Majesty is deeply rooted and not governed by circumstances nor altered by changes, but is based on a long-standing history of commitment and sincere obedience to the ruler, noting their steadfast support for His Majesty's wise leadership in good and bad times. The Director General of the Council also stated in the document that as they renew their pledge, they affirm that they stand united in sparing no efforts or sacrifice in the service of the nation to protect its achievement and preserve its unity and dignity without hesitation under the leadership of His Majesty the King. They also express pride in the steadfast and wisdom of His Majesty. The Council renewed its pledge of allegiance with the utmost sincerity and loyalty, vowing obedience to His Majesty the King and to remain steadfast in their pledge, praying to Allah Almighty to protect His Majesty and to grant him a long life and keep him a pillar of support for the Kingdom and its people. His Majesty expressed thanks and appreciation to all members of the royal family and citizens for the kind sentiments they have shown towards Bahrain through their messages of support and loyalty and their honorable stances. His Majesty also thanked all Bahraini tribes and families and those who sent messages of support for the measures taken by Bahrain, as well as the tribes and families from all the GCC states, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, and Kuwait. His Majesty especially thanked the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Morocco, Jordan, Egypt, and the GCC General Secretariat, who affirmed their commitment to the security and stability of the Kingdom and support for Bahrain, which underscores the strength, solidarity, and cohesion of the GCC states. His Majesty noted that Bahrain and its people were delighted to witness this unity and solidarity, which reaffirms that they share a common destiny and demonstrates the status of Bahrain that's between the GCC states. His Majesty prayed to Allah Almighty to protect the GCC states and grant them and their people progress, prosperity, security, and stability. The Kingdom of Bahrain continues to consolidate the foundation of security and stability through measures that protect society and strengthen its cohesion in the face of current challenges in a manner that reflects clear vision and a firm stance. The measures have received widespread support, starting within Bahrain itself, extending to the wider Gulf and Arab regions, and reaching international positions that supports the security and stability of Bahrain. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued Decree 26 of the year 2026 appointing General Directors at the Civil Service Bureau based on the proposal of the Prime Minister and following the approval of the Cabinet. Article 1, Sheikh Mu'adh bin Daij bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Director General of Organization and Position Budget at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Organization and Workforce Planning at the same entity. Article 2, Sheikh Arana bint Abdurrahman bint Muhammad Al Khalifa, Director General of Human Resources Development and Performance Management at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Institutional Efficiency at the same entity. Article 3, Ali Yusuf Ali Al Hamadi, Director General of Recruitment and Information at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Human Resources Affairs at the same entity. Article 4, Muhammad Salman Muhsin Al Aradi, Director General of Shared Human Resources Services at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Institutional Services at the same entity. Article 5, Reem Hassan Hamid Marhoon, Director General of Policies and Wages at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Strategies and Policies at the same entity. Article 6, Abdurrahman Abdullah Abdulaziz Shomali, Director of Policy and Regulatory Directorate at the Civil Service Bureau, shall be appointed Director General of Shared Human Resources Services at the same entity. His Majesty also issued Decree 27 of the year 2026 appointing Assistant Under-Secretaries at the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunication based on the proposals of the Minister of Transportation and Telecommunication and following the approval of the Cabinet. Article 1, Sheikh Ahmed bin Isa bin Daij Al Khalifa shall be appointed Assistant Under-Secretary for Telecommunications at the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications. Article 2, Saud Ahmed Abdulaziz Al Khayyat, Director of Information and Real Estate Development at the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, shall be appointed Assistant Under-Secretary for Land Transport at the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications, succeeding Hussein Ali Hassan Agoub. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued Decree 28 of the year 2026 adding a member to the Board of Directors of the General Sports Authority based on a proposal of the Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports and following the approval of the Cabinet. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Finance and National Economy for Financial Affairs shall be added to the membership of the Board of the Directors of the General Sports Authority. The term of membership shall continue until the end of the current board's term. His Majesty also issued Decree 29 of the year 2026 appointing an Assistant Undersecretary at the Ministry of Finance and National Economy based on a proposal by the Minister of Finance and National Economy and following the approval of the Cabinet. Sheikh Mohammed bin Isa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa shall be appointed an Assistant Undersecretary for Coordination and Follow-up at the Ministry of Finance and National Economy. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa issued Edict 15 of the year 2026 appointing directors at the Civil Service Bureau based on the proposal of the President of the Civil Service Bureau. Article 1, Haytham Ali Khalil Nas shall be appointed Director of Policies and Regulations Affairs at the Civil Service Bureau, succeeding Abdurrahman Abdullah Abdulaziz Shomali. Article 2, the following shall be appointed as directors at Civil Service Bureau. Number 1, Sheikh Mohammed bin Isa bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, Director of Compliance and Professional Conduct. 2, Khadija Hassan Ali Al Karbabadi, Director of Talent Development. 3, Muhammad Abdul Qadir Muhammad Zain Al Abidin, Director of Recruitment and Mobility. 4, Sabika Rashid Abdurrahman Al Mana'i, Director of Performance Management. 5, Bushra Abdul Jalil Ibrahim Al Traif, Director of Institutional Excellence. His Royal Highness also issued Edict 16 of the year 2026 appointing a director at Real Estate Regulatory Authority, based on a proposal by the chairman of the Board of Directors of the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Sheikh Khalifa bin Age bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, shall be appointed Director of Real Estate Operation at the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, succeeding Mehnaz Ghulum Muhammad. The Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Qudaybiya Palace. The cabinet reiterated the importance of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's recent address to the media, which serves as a guiding principle for safeguarding the interest of the kingdom and its citizens while reinforcing security, stability, and continued prosperity. The cabinet underscored that the government across all its entities continues to implement His Majesty's directives and aims for the benefit of the kingdom and its people. The cabinet emphasized that the directives drive forward the kingdom's comprehensive development and that safeguarding Bahrain's security and stability is a shared national responsibility that cannot be compromised. The cabinet also expressed its appreciation for the support extended by Bahraini and GCC tribes and families following the address delivered by His Majesty. The cabinet also extended its gratitude to partner countries and regional and international institutions for their full solidarity with Bahrain and their supportive stance towards the measures taken to protect its security, preserve its sovereignty, national interest, and to confront any attempt to undermine them. The cabinet commended His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco, as well as Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon, in addition to the GCC Secretary General and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation for their firm positions and steadfast support for Bahrain in confronting threats against its security and stability. The cabinet affirmed continued cooperation with the legislative authority to work towards the kingdom's shared national goals in line with His Majesty the King's royal order on extending the sixth legislative term of the Shura and Representative Council by 1 year for a fifth session. The cabinet noted that the message delivered by His Majesty the King on World Press Freedom Day, praising the pivotal role played by Bahraini media during the hostile Iranian aggression towards the kingdom and the region. Marking Bahraini Press Day, the cabinet outlined its appreciation for the important role of Bahrain's professionalism in the journalism and media sector as part of the kingdom's comprehensive development. The cabinet affirmed the importance of the extraordinary consultative Gulf Summit of the GCC Supreme Council held in Jeddah, where Bahrain's delegation was led by His Majesty, as well as its positive outcomes in strengthening joint GCC efforts and cooperation amid regional development. The cabinet commended the outcomes of His Majesty the King's meeting with UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and expressed its gratitude for the warm welcome extended during His Majesty's visit. The cabinet highlighted His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa's meeting with His Majesty King Abdullah II Ibn Al Hussein of Jordan and Crown Prince of Jordan, His Royal Highness Al Hussein bin Abdullah II, and expressed appreciation for the warm reception and hospitality extended during His Royal Highness visit. The cabinet then referred to the importance of the decisions adopted by the UN Security Council and discussed during Bahrain's presidency of the Council in April 2026, and commended the efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs during this period. In addition, the cabinet reviewed several memorandums submitted by ministerial committees and ministers approving the following: 1. A draft resolution regarding municipal councils. 2. A draft resolution amending certain provisions of the resolution establishing National Human Rights Committee. 3. A draft resolution regarding diplomatic and consular missions. 4. a memorandum of understanding between the Bahrain Chamber for Dispute Resolution and the China International Economic and Trade Arbitration Commission. 5. The government's response to several proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives and draft laws submitted by the Shura Council. The Cabinet also reviewed the outcomes of the 7th edition of the Government Innovation Competition, FICRA. The Cabinet then reviewed the following ministerial reports. 1. The outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the United Nations Security Council high-level open debate on the safety and protection of waterways in the maritime domain and the high-level open debate on the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question. 2. The outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the extraordinary session of the Council of the Arab League at the ministerial level. 3. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 18th edition of the Khalifa International Award for Date Palm and Agriculture Innovation. His Majesty the King's Representative for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, received Chairman of the Bahrain Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Nabil Khalid Kano. Also presented were BCCI First Vice Chairman Yusuf Salahuddin Ibrahim, Second Vice Chairman Nawaf Khalid Zayani, and Director General of the Office of His Majesty the King's Representative for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, Abdullah Jihad Zain. His Highness congratulated the Chairman and members of the Board of Directors on their election, wishing them success in making further accomplishment that supports the national economy and enhance the Kingdom's position across various domains. He emphasized the vital role played by the private sector as a key partner in the comprehensive development process. For their part, the BCCI Chairman and Board members expressed their thanks and appreciation to His Highness for his support of the Chamber's efforts, which contribute to the prosperity and development of the Kingdom and its citizens. The Council of Representatives affirms that the remarks made by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to the media are a clear and guiding framework for national and parliamentary work, providing a defined path to serve the Kingdom and its citizens and to achieve the desired national objectives within the ongoing comprehensive development process. The Council reiterated its full support for all measures taken by Bahrain to safeguard its security, protect its sovereignty, preserve its achievement, and strengthen stability and prosperity while ensuring the safety of its people and confronting hostile Iranian attacks, as well as any attempts to undermine national security or align with such action. The Council stressed that the Kingdom stands above all and that Bahrain is a shared responsibility, adding that unity and parliamentary integrity are fundamental obligations that must not be compromised, and that any deviation from national principles disqualifies individuals from representing the people of Bahrain. In line with the Royal Order extending the 6th legislative term of the Shura Council and Representative Council for a 5th session by 1 year, the Council affirms its continued constructive cooperation with the government led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The Council notes that the current stage requires strengthened social cohesion and national unity, support of the leadership, fulfillment of responsibility, and adherence to responsible freedom of expression. It's also emphasized the importance of unified media disclosure and the reinforcement of loyalty, belonging, and national identity. The Council expressed its pride in the role of Bahrain Defense Forces and the Security and Civil Agency for their competence in safeguarding the nation and addressing challenges. The Speaker of the Representative Council, Ahmed Al-Msallam, received a delegation from the European Parliament headed by Chair of the Delegation for Relations with the Arab Peninsula, Reinhold Loptka. Al-Msallam said that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and with the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, is committed to developing its close tie with the European Union and strengthening cooperation across all domains. El Msalem commended the solidarity shown by the EU with the GCC countries in confronting the Iranian attacks and their condemnation of Iran's action through UN Security Council Resolution 2817. He also highlighted diplomatic efforts in international forums aimed at ensuring the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, protecting international shipping, global energy security and international trade, and upholding the principles of international law and international humanitarian law. He noted that Bahrain has constantly called for dialogue and diplomacy as a means to achieve lasting stability, and affirmed that no state can accept attack on its territory or threat to security of its people. The Bahrain Journalists Association held a ceremony to mark World Press Freedom Day and Bahraini Press Day, attended by a select group of media and press leaders. The ceremony serves as a national occasion to recognize the contribution of the press and media community in the Kingdom of Bahrain and acknowledge the support and patronage afforded to the media sector by His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, which strengthen the standings of national media and consolidates its role in serving the nation and society. Journalists and media figures received widespread praise, underscoring the pivotal role played by national press and media organization in conveying information and news with accuracy and professionalism, alongside their ongoing efforts to combat rumors and counter misinformation. Shura Council Chairman Ali Saleh received Bahrain Institute for Political Development Board of Trustee Chairman Dr. Ali Al-Rumayhi, who presented a copy of the Institute 2025 annual report. Saleh commended the Institute's efforts in implementing the royal directives to strengthen national and political awareness and to promote constructive public participation in Bahrain's development process. He also noted that the Institute's role in highlighting government initiatives led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to empower national talent within Team Bahrain and reinforce their responsibilities in advancing national progress. He described the annual report as an important record of the Institute's continued success in designing and delivering training programs for national cadres across various institutions. For his part, Dr. Al-Rumayhi affirmed the Institute's commitment to developing programs and activities that foster national belonging and reinforce values of loyalty across all segments of society. He also stressed the importance of continued cooperation and coordination with the Shura Council to sustain parliamentary support programs alongside specialized training for the Council's General Secretariat staff. The General Command of the Bahrain Defense Forces announced that all its services and units are at the highest level of readiness and defensive preparedness. The General Command expressed pride in the advanced combat readiness and high vigilance demonstrated by its personnel in carrying out their national duties to defend the kingdom and safeguard its achievement. It urged the public to exercise caution regarding any unfamiliar or suspicious objects resulting from the Iranian hostile attacks and to avoid approaching or handling them. The General Command affirms that personnel of the Royal Field Engineering Unit remain fully prepared to safely deal with such objects, ensuring that the safety of all citizens and residents.
إن الأداء المشرف الذي يسطره رجال قوى الدفاع البحرين يبعث على طمأنينة وثقة راسخة بأن سماء ومياه وأراضي مملكة البحرين مصونة بعون الله. إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Bahrain on an official visit. Upon arrival at Bahrain International Airport, he was received by Minister of Foreign Affairs and head of the mission's honor, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Zayani, Governor of Markaz, Salman bin Isa bin Hindi Al-Minna'i, head of the protocol at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Salah Mohammed Shab, and a number of officials. Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Abdulatif Zayani received a telephone call from UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, Yvette Cooper. During the call, they discussed the latest regional developments and the repercussions of Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz on maritime navigation, international trade and global economy. They also reviewed prospects for enhancing cooperation and coordination during both countries' membership of the UN Security Council and efforts to support the implementation of the Security Council resolution concerning freedom of maritime navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. The Minister of Foreign Affairs expressed Bahrain's strong condemnation and denunciation of the Iranian terrorist attack that targeted civilian sites and facilities at the UAE using cruise missiles and drones, considering this a dangerous escalation that threatens the security and stability of the region, a flagrant violation of the principles of good neighborness and rules of international law, a breach of UN Security Council Resolution 2817, and a clear violation of the declared ceasefire. The ministry affirmed Bahrain's full solidarity with the UAE and its complete support for the measure it is taking to preserve its sovereignty, security and stability based on the long-standing ties that unite the leadership and peoples of the two countries. It also expressed its wishes for the speedy recovery of the injured and renewed its call to the international community, especially the Security Council, to take firm and direct position and measures against these repeated unjustified Iranian attacks in a way that preserves the security of the region, protects civilians and vital facilities, ensuring global energy security, freedom and safety of maritime navigation, and promotes regional and international peace and security. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed Bahrain's strong condemnation and denunciation of the Iranian terrorist attack that targeted the tanker belonging to ADNOC using two drones while it was passing through the Strait of Hormuz, considering it a flagrant violation of the rules of international law, the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, the Resolution of International Maritime Organization, and UN Security Council Resolution 2817. The ministry affirms Bahrain's full solidarity with the UAE and complete support for the measure it is taking to protect its interests. The statement also affirmed the need for Iran to commit to halting all hostile acts and to fully and unconditionally restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz in accordance with international laws and agreement, as it is a fundamental pillar for energy security, the stability of food and medicine supplies, the flow of global trade, the promotion of economic growth, and the consolidation of security and stability in the region and the world. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning has developed the housing application allocation service by converting it into a fully automated internal digital process that directly precedes the issuance of electronic contracts. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning Minister Amna Rumayhi said this development aims to reduce internal procedural steps and save time and efforts for beneficiaries. She noted that the re-engineering of the process has also reduced required documentation by 50% and cut required approvals by 25%. The approval is an integrated technical step that begins immediately after the electronic draw process, linking it internally with the housing service system through a contract issuance and authentication, with all operations conducted by interconnected technical systems. The first Deputy Chairman of the Shura Council, Jamal Mohammed Fakhro, received a delegation from the European Parliament. During the meeting, the two sides discussed ways to strengthen cooperation and joint parliamentary work, particularly in the light of political and military developments and repercussions as a result of Iran's hostile aggression. Fakhro affirmed that the legislative authority's commitment to developing joint parliamentary work, in line with His Majesty the King's approach of consolidating international cooperation and strengthening partnership based on dialogue and understanding, reflecting his ongoing commitment to enhancing coordination with parliaments around the world. For their part, the European Parliament delegation expressed their full solidarity with Bahrain in light of the hostile Iranian aggression and condemned these attacks and the threats they pose to regional and international security and stability. The Director General of Traffic, Major General Sheikh Abdulrahman bin Abdul Wahab Al Khalifa, affirmed that public safety is key to community stability, with traffic safety forming an important element in protecting road users. He noted the launch of the qualitative initiative to equip motorcycle accompanying official convoys with an electronic plate system aimed at guiding drivers on the safe driving conduct to be followed when an official convoy passes, contributing to the regulation of traffic flow and enhancing safety levels. More in this report.
Maintaining public safety and order is a way of life in civilized societies, where public safety is both a goal and a means to a safe life. Among the various aspects of public safety in society is road safety, which is related to the movement of vehicles and motorcycles to ensure the safety of all road users. In this context, an initiative has been launched to improve road safety by equipping police motorcycles accompanying official convoys with an electronic plate system to guide other drivers on how to safely behave when an official convoy passes, while affirming the importance of drivers cooperating and responding to the traffic instructions displayed on the electronic sign as required by the situation. Road safety remains a clear message to all road users that is based on everyone's cooperation and aims to ensure the safety of the community.
As part of early preparation and comprehensive planning for the Hajj season, the Security Committee held a coordination meeting with campaign organizer to standardize procedures and enhance readiness level in line with the season's requirements and to ensure smooth coordination among stakeholders. The meeting reviewed the approved security and organizational plans, as well as mechanism for implementing instructions and guidelines. It also emphasized the importance of adhering to regulations to ensure effective crowd management and improve the efficiency of on-site coordination between campaigns and relevant authorities, thereby enhancing response speed and the ability to handle various situations during the season. The meeting also focused on raising awareness among campaign organizers by emphasizing their role in guiding pilgrims, thereby supporting the creation of an orderly and safe environment and contributing to the success of the Hajj season in accordance with the highest standards of discipline and efficiency.